Yes, it's John G. Sutton, Tales from the Jail. I'm going to talk today about complete idiots that worked as prison officers. People who were not only deranged, but at times quite criminally orientated. Let me start off, and I'm not going to give you the names, but let me start off telling you about a certain prison officer. I won't give you his name, but he's a fat bastard, yeah? And he was arrested one night in Manchester at a club called the Millionaires Club. Now, in the Millionaires Club, he was standing at the bar. I don't know what the hell he was drinking, but he was drinking an alcoholic drink. And standing next to him was another bloke. And this guy says to him, "What are you doing here? You know, you're having a good night, yeah?" And Fats said, "Yeah, he's having a good night. We're just having a convivial evening in Manchester." He said, "Oh, well, what do you do for a living?" And Fats said, "Oh, with the police, actually." He said, "Oh, that's good." He said, "I'm with the police as well." He said, "What rank are you?" And he spun some yarn about being a detective. And he said, "Well, this is my warrant card." He said, "Can I see yours?" Of course. Fats was not, in fact, a police officer. He was, in fact, a fat prison officer. And he was taken to the station, and they were going to charge him with impersonating a police officer. Seriously. Well, quite rightly so, passing himself off as a police officer. But I believe something to do with the what they call it, the funny handshake, you know what I mean? That got in the way, and he was advised not to do it again. That was one instance. I mean, but imagine being stupid enough to do that. Now, this is a far more serious story I'm going to tell you now. There's a prison officer at Strange Ways lived in the prison quarters, and backing onto him were other married quarters, and one of the officers had a handicapped daughter, and there were allegations made by this girl that she had been interfered with by this particular prison officer. But because of the nature of the child, who was about 11 at the time, 10 or 11 at the time, it was impossible to proceed against the prison officer. But it was generally accepted that by the police who were involved in all this, that the child had been molested, but they could not prove that this particular officer had molested her. But nonetheless, that was the allegations made. That was the complaint made. But the child could not be giving evidence because she was suffering from a particularly debilitating malfunction of the genetic system that required that she couldn't really express what had happened. But she did so sufficiently to her parents, who were quite clear that this had happened. When I was at the Scrubs, I previously discussed about the children of serving prison officers. They weren't really what you'd call children. They were young adults, really, like 18, 19 years old, were coming round intimidating the staff. You know the story about what happened. They tried to intimidate me, and I hospitalised them, for which I had to go to court. It took the jury 10 minutes to find me not guilty. See, I wasn't guilty. I didn't attack anybody. They attacked me. See, the police said this was using excessive force. No need to use all that force. I mean, somebody comes at you with a glass in the hand saying they're going to kill you. Yeah, what are you going to do? You know, wait and see if the glass actually cuts your face open, or are you going to defend yourself? There you go. That's what I did. It cost me thousands of pounds to defend myself because I wouldn't accept trial by the magistrates. Because once again, the funny handshake brigade were involved in all this. That's how it all happened. Because they were sent out to actually intimidate me, believe it or not. Didn't work. Anyway, during all this gang of louts who were inhabiting or living around the prison quarters and causing trouble, they got a little boy there who was about 8 years old, 7 years old, took his bicycle off him and removed his trousers and his underclothing and interfered with him in some way. And I went to see the little boy's father. I said, well, you can help me, you know, we'll deal with these thugs, you know, but they were the children of senior officers, principal officers, chief officers, that kind of thing, you know, at the scrubs. Well, I said, I will help you to deal with this. Oh, he said, I can't do that. I said, they've just molested your son. He said, no, he said, if I do that, he said, it will affect my promotion. Seriously. What kind of a knobhead is that? And that's what you were dealing with. People who wouldn't even stand up for themselves. There was another proper Charlie at, his name wasn't Charlie, by the way, but he was just a proper Charlie who worked at Strange Ways, and he had a big old-fashioned motorbike, and he used to wear a yellow outfit, you know, like he dressed himself up like a police motorcyclist, in actual fact. And he was seen stopping vehicles. When you think about it, it makes you bloody laugh, doesn't it? He was seen stopping vehicles on Bury Old Road, pulling people over and cautioning them, you know, do you realise that you're speeding and all this, that and the other. I mean, what on earth is going through these people's minds, yeah? It really makes you wonder. I told you previously about the nutcase who lived 2 doors up from me. One sunny Sunday afternoon, there was a fair on just nearby where we lived. A proper fair, you know, a fun fair. And it had like stalls on where they sold things, you know, and candy floss and all that, and roundabouts. And it would be about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and Mary said to me, you won't believe this, come and have a look. And there was this guy 2 doors down, standing at the front of his house, just about to set off to go to the fair with his 2 children, wearing his prison uniform, hat on, cap badge in, truncheon, chain swinging, you know, a keychain, yeah, dressed up all in his uniform, silver buttons, yeah, sparkling bulled-up boots, marching down the street like that. What the bloody hell's that all about? I mean, I tell you, as I said at the start, this little video is about knobhead prison officers. Anyway, seeing as you've survived this, I'm going to sing to you. Well, it's not really singing, is it? It's more like torture. So all you individuals who enjoy being tortured, stand by for action. Here it comes. I'm going to sing you a song that was made famous by, well, I believe it was made famous by Paul Robeson. It's called Trees. I think that I shall never see A poem as lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray. A tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. Well, that one'll never grow again, will it? Tales from the jails. Oh, you're subscribing here, yeah? Thank you very much.